It was a sweltering Friday night at Rusty's Roadhouse, a dive bar just off the interstate in southern Texas, the kind of place where the jukebox never stops playing Toby Keith, and the beer's always cold. The neon buzzed red over the door as Sarah Bennett pushed it open, her worn denim jacket hanging loose on her slim frame, her dark hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She couldn't have been more than 5'4", quiet eyes, soft voice, the kind of woman most people look past. She ordered a sweet tea, no alcohol, and took the last empty stool at the far end of the bar. That was her first mistake. Within minutes, the loudest table in the room noticed her. 4 guys in wrinkled button-downs, fresh off some oil rig shift, already 3 pitchers deep. The ringleader, a thick-necked man named Travis with a laugh like a busted muffler, leaned over and hollered, "Hey, sweetheart, you sure you're in the right place? Knitting club's down the road." His buddies roared. Sarah didn't look up, just stirred her tea. Travis wasn't done. "Oh, come on, darling, cat got your tongue? Or you just too delicate for real folks?" The whole bar chuckled nervously, the way people do when they sense cruelty coming but don't want to get involved. Sarah finally lifted her eyes. They were calm. Too calm. "I'm just here for a drink," she said, voice low, almost polite. That only made it worse. Travis stood up, swaying, and sauntered over. "Tell you what, little lady, you flash us a smile, maybe we'll buy your, what is that, apple juice?" He snatched the sleeve of her jacket, tugging hard enough to make her shoulder jerk. The fabric stretched, and that's when it happened. The sleeve ripped at the seam, just an inch, but it was enough. Black ink appeared against pale skin, an eagle, globe, and anchor, perfect, detailed. The word Semper curled beneath it in bold scarlet and gold. The bar went dead silent. You could hear the ice melt in forgotten glasses. Travis froze mid-laugh, his hand still gripping the torn denim like he'd touched a live wire. Sarah slowly turned on the stool to face him. She didn't yell. She didn't have to. "You ever been to Fallujah, Travis?" she asked, voice steady as a heartbeat. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. She stood up, no rush, no drama, and let the jacket slide off her shoulders entirely. Both arms were covered, scars laced between the tattoos, shrapnel kisses across her forearm, a long surgical line on her bicep, and across her chest, just visible at the collar of her tank top, the faint purple remnant of IE that should have ended her. Every eye in the room was locked on her now. She took one step forward. "I carried my best friend out of a burning Humvee while people like you were still figuring out how to use a coaster." Another step. Travis actually backed up. "I earned this ink in places that would make you cry for your mama in 5 minutes. Her voice never rose, but it filled the entire bar like incoming artillery. "So the next time you feel like judging a woman because she's quiet, because she's drinking sweet tea, because she's minding her own business, remember this moment. Remember how fast your mouth can turn to dust." The bartender, a grizzled Vietnam vet who hadn't moved once during the shouting now, reached under the counter and set a fresh sweet tea in front of Sarah on the house. He gave her a crisp salute without saying a word. One by one, men at nearby tables stood up, ought to challenge her to salute. Real salutes, slow and respectful, from old veterans who recognized the look in her eyes because they'd worn it themselves. Travis tried to mumble something, an apology, maybe, but it came out strangled. Sarah just looked at him for a long second, the way a lion looks at something already dead. Then she shrugged her jacket back on, torn sleeve and all, picked up her tea and walked toward the door. Before she left, she paused under the neon and glanced back at the room. "Semper means always. Faithful," she said softly. "Faithful to the ones who didn't make it home so you could run your mouth in a bar." The door swung shut behind her. Outside, under the buzzing red light, she leaned against her old pickup for a moment, closed her eyes, and let one tear fall, just one, because some nights the ghosts ride shotgun no matter how far you drive. Then she wiped her face, climbed in, and disappeared into the Texas dark. Back inside Rusty's, nobody said a word for a full 5 minutes. Travis paid his tab with shaking hands and never came back. Word spread fast. By morning, the torn piece of denim with the ripped marine tattoo was pinned behind the bar like a relic. They call it Sarah's sleeve now, and every new bartender gets told. The rule, sweet tea is always free for anyone who's earned it. That quiet woman nobody noticed. She wasn't simple. She was steel wrapped in silence, carrying a war most people can't even imagine on her skin and in her soul. And on the night, a bunch of loudmouths decided to mock her. They learned the hardest way possible: never, ever underestimate the woman who made it home. If that story hit you right in the chest, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button real quick so you never miss the next one. We're just getting started. Now tell me in the comments from which part of the country are you watching this video right now. Drop your state, your city, wherever you're holding it down tonight. I read every single one. See you in the next one.